Hello, this is Jamie, aka Brandoff, the off-brand Gandalf, and today I'm going to give you a preview of the upcoming Fist Ultra Edition. This is a pre-alpha. It precedes even letters. I would say it's a little bit like the current state of the OD&D playtest, where it helps to have what you see here is the last version. This is the Fist second revision. It's what you can pick up and print currently. And use that as a base and then apply the new Fist Ultra Edition tweaks onto that. So first of all, what is Fist? Fist is a paranormal mercenary role-playing game, a phrase that immediately caught my attention. I would say that Fist's claim to fame are the traits, which are a sort of combination feat, starting equipment, and ability score modifier. Traits are insanely flavorful, and some of them are quite powerful. Like there's one where you can just stop time for an hour, which is my favorite example. I would describe all the mercenaries in Fist as glass cannons. You are OP, but you start with 6 hit points, and a janitor with a handgun deals 1d6 hit points of damage. So it's kind of an interesting combination of you being this very impactful, powerful person, but you're not safe, you know. This is a dangerous game. The new Fist Ultra Edition is going to come with even more traits. I believe it's going to be a D666 table. So it's like 266 traits, I think, up from the current 100, which I love. This is at its heart a D6 based game, and having D100 traits in a D6 game is just, honestly, I'm offended. No, I'm joking. What is new on the Ultra Edition? So first of all, we're going to switch over the tab here. This is the pre-alpha. You don't get a logo. What are you even thinking? So the first thing is actually an optional mechanic, which is strict initiative. Fist, the last current version, operates under spotlight management, which if you're raised on Dungeons and Dragons or a modern D20 fantasy role-playing game, spotlight management can come off as a little bit strange and perhaps uncomfortable. For some, it is a revelation. For others, it is an added responsibility that perhaps is unwelcome. And for those types of groups, we now have strict initiative. At the beginning of each mission, establish a turn order for the team. During active combat, each player can do all of the following in the span of one turn. They can speak to other characters. They can use an item. They can perform one non-risky action which doesn't require rolling the dice, e.g. moving a short distance or knocking over some crates. And they can perform one risky action and roll the dice. And it says once the options are exhausted, move on to the next character, restarting when you get to the end of the line. At any time, players can spend one war die to take an additional turn, and may place their bonus turn anywhere in the turn order. Because the enemies in Fist respond to player rolls and actions, taking damage on a success, dealing damage on a failure, etc., they do not have their own turn order. And there you go. Strict initiative. I just finished a mini campaign of Monster of the Week. And one of the things I was surprised that none of them liked were they didn't like the spotlight stuff. And I think I did a fairly good job. I don't actually have trouble with, I don't think I have trouble with spotlight management when I was running Fist. So I was kind of surprised to learn my players pretty much hated spotlight. They found it confusing. They found it uncomfortable is a better way to put it, because you don't know when you're going to be moved into the spotlight. You kind of have to be ready. Whereas with a strict initiative order, you can take your turn and then grab a candy bar and just shove it in your face and start chewing, and you're comfortable. You have comfort and the knowledge that it's going to be a little while before it comes back around the table. Whereas with Spotlight style initiative, you never know when someone's going to point at you and be like, "What do you do?" And then you're like, "Brr." So I would actually say, especially as an optional rule, this is a good thing. Probably the best use of optional rules is to, you pare the core rules down to the essentials with no unnecessary rules. This is what you need to play a good game of Fist. But then you also listen to the playtesters and you listen to the players and you listen for maybe a common problem they have. And if enough folks are like, yo, we're not really, grooving on the freeform storytelling style initiative order, then it's fine to like introduce some kind of strict initiative. I've actually seen like posts from people who tried to adapt it into Monster of the Week and such. This isn't something I'm planning on talking about, but I got to go down here. This is another new rule, sudden death. I think it's kind of amazing. When a character rolls Snake Eyes 2 1s during active combat, the mode of play shifts to sudden death. During sudden death, all damage is doubled after applying any other bonuses, and armor is rendered useless by the force of incredible violence. Sudden death lasts until someone dies. I'm not going to get into that right now because I have a whole other video describing the Fist Ultra playtest I'm taking part in, run by the game's creator, the wonderful Claymore. And that is a treat because I love I think I have this shared on YouTube. I love watching game creators run their own games. I think it's a fascinating window into the creative process and how the game is quote unquote intended to be played. This is like their dream realized. I love it. I'm having a ton of fun. Sudden death makes an appearance in the playtest. I'll do another video on how that went down. Another change in the original Fist, I'm just going to keep calling Fist second revision the original. Deal with it. In the original game, it sort of went by the OSR mindset with the assumption that as soon as you died, you would just roll up a new character and they would rejoin the story as soon as possible or whenever it made sense. But that was intended, but not really described in the text of the game. In Fist Ultra, we actually have emergency insertion. If your character dies, create a fresh character while play continues. When you're ready to deploy, jump into the fray and roll 2d6. A 6 or less, deployment goes wrong somehow. On a 7 to 9, you deploy normally. At a 10 or above, you deploy with an extra standard issue item. And at double sixes, as above, and gain 1d6 maximum hit points. I would love it if an emergency insertion resulted in sudden death. Right? Somebody rolls up, double all damage, armor does nothing until somebody dies. So I quite like this. When I was running the original Fist, I would just let people throw a new character into the game. Like I hadn't heard that the intention was for this to happen. I just kind of winged this. I said that if anyone died within the first hour of a 2-hour game, they could come in with a new character. I'm going to say I would probably like kind of house rule not having someone join during like a final battle, because you don't want like a boss to just like wipe out the party and then they all like immediately jump in with new characters and continue doing that until the boss is dead. And, it makes kind of makes victory a foregone conclusion. I would say like moments of high drama. It's kind of hard to say. I think that if like an early battle went spectacularly wrong, I would like immediately drop the new player in, right? Because like you don't want to like TPK like 15 minutes into a session. But I definitely think that like in a last battle, I'd be like, well, we're going to wait a little while. I'm not saying that's something that they need to put within the text of the game, though. I don't think Claymore needs to rewrite this to add anything about boss fights. I think it's kind of up to each group how they would want to handle that, but I appreciate this being mechanically locked into the game. I do have one suggestion, one bit of playtest feedback, which instead of messaging Claymore and being like, yo, here's my feedback, I'm just going to give it in this video because I'm weird. So here's my suggestion for the emergency insertion procedure. I like how the higher you roll, you can either get an extra standard item, you do that. And I like how on double sixes, you get an additional 1d6 max hit points. My suggestion, though, would be an additional option on double sixes, or maybe even on 10 or above. Give them the option of either they could get that item, they could get those hit points, or treat their first roll as a total success. I'm all for like the fragility of Fist mercenaries. You know, I like the fact that you could drop at any moment. But I think that if you roll high enough on your, you know, this is your big entrance, right? This is like, I think if you roll high enough, it would be nice to like guarantee that you are incredibly competent in those initial moments, right? You just Kool-Aid man through the wall and you throw a punch at the, you know, the robot crocodile chewing on your new teammates, and it, you know, it misses. And that'd be kind of like a bad feeling, I think. I don't know. I mean, it could be funny, but I think as like an option, like an optional rule perhaps, or just like provide the option to the player, it'd be like, yeah, you could have, you know, a standard item, an extra standard item or additional hit points is going to come in handy like for the rest of the scenario. Or you could just have some like really impactful moment for your introduction. And like, this is your guaranteed moment to kick ass because you rolled high enough. I don't think that'd break anything. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and I think it'd make for memorable moments. So Claymore, if you are listening, there is my primary bit of playtest feedback. And the last new addition to the Fist Ultra Edition pre-alpha playtest, gear tags. These are pretty darn fun, or weapon tags rather. I don't know how it's going to work in the final game. I'm pretty sure that, so in the playtest, we all got to pick a weapon tag that we wanted for free. I picked Lucky, which keeping the weapon in your inventory grants you 1 war die per mission, which is pretty cool. You can use war die to add to your normal 2d6 roll. So that can be pretty darn impactful. Like even in a 2d6 game, even a +1 matters. And having a minimum of +1 and a maximum of +6 to your roll is a big deal. And there's all kinds of things here. Non-lethal is kind of fun. You could do like, you could say that like your shotgun has a taser mode or something, or like it fires beanbags. There's experimental. When each mission begins, roll D66 on this table for the weapon's effect. If you get experimental, create a new one with the ref. That's awesome. Let's see, there's ice, deals double damage to anything which needs warmth to function, which would include me. So don't hit me with an ice weapon. Incendiary, when damage is dealt, this weapon also deals 2 damage to anything within fire spreading range, and it deals double damage to plants. Yeah, take that, plants. I'm looking for my favorite here. Oh, here we go. This is my favorite. Unstable can be set to overload to deal triple damage once and explodes for 3d6 damage to everyone nearby seconds later. I love it. Like I said, I'm not sure if you're going to get to pick a weapon tag on creation. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that we're just getting to test these for playtest purposes. Functionally, if you do get to pick a free weapon tag on creation, it's basically like getting a third trait. A lot of these feel a lot like traits, which is fine by me. I like interesting options, and I like finding combos, and that's one of the funnest things about Fist is you get your 2 traits. And you get to like mash them together and make a cool character. And these are just even more options Like I imagine people are going to want to combine unstable with that, what's it called, exploder that lets you blow up for, I think, also 36. So maybe you could set your gun to explode and then explode yourself, and then your gun goes off, and now it's 66 damage to everyone around you. I imagine that's boss fight is over. And that pretty much, those are the three things I wanted to talk about: the new initiative system, the emergency insertion, and the weapon tags. Stars and wishes. My favorite new addition is the emergency deployment. I see that being a lot of fun. My wish is that my playtest feedback is adapted into the game, which would be neat. But just I want more traits. I didn't even cover the traits in this because they're not finished. They're not fully added. You don't have the whole list. So I'm sure there'll be a new preview when this goes pre-alpha, alpha, or even beta, and we'll have more fun features. Yeah. So in summary, I'm super duper enjoying Fist Ultra Edition. I see nothing but improvements. I look forward to the finished project. I am having a ton of fun in the playtest. There will be more Fist videos on the way. And hey, everybody, there is currently another Fist Jam, which is where everybody can kind of make something for Fist, which is easy to do because it's Creative Commons. Hop in on that. And a winner gets a prize of MANDELBROT set, which you can find a review on this channel. It's a great campaign, very weird sci-fi. If you like the movie Annihilation or the Roadside Picnic novel, you should totally get MANDELBROT set. That is the prize. And as the winner of the first Fist Jam, I can tell you it's a lot of fun. I'm probably going to be doing something for this jam. I missed the last one, so I'd be ashamed to miss 2 in a row. And that's about it. You can find Fist Ultra Edition as a free add-on to the Fist 2nd Revision, currently being sold on DriveThruRPG and Itch.io. Go get it. Test it out. Provide feedback. Have fun. Until next time, I am Jamie, aka Brandoff, the off-brand Gandalf. Goodbye.